cinnamon baklava rolls. This is another recipe where I wanted to marry the Middle Eastern and the Western cuisines together. If anyone knows me, they know how much I love cinnamon rolls and they know how much I love baklava. So I decided to marry both recipes and get the best of both worlds into one recipe. This recipe is so delicious. The way that the nuts go so beautifully with the cinnamon and the sugar and that crisp dough. This recipe can also be very Christmassy, very wintry, so if you want to make a dessert recipe this Christmas and kind of want to try something new, then this is the recipe for you. But don't worry, I won't be teaching you how to make any dough or anything like that. If you guys did want to know how to make dough though, do let me know in the comments down below because I love making dough. But I kind of want to make simple, easy recipes that everyone can make and that people can just like whip up and have it ready. This recipe does not teach you how to make dough. It's all about that quickness, that easiness, that simplicity and that tastiness. If you guys haven't subscribed then please hit the button down below because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned. How to make cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls have to be one of my absolute favourite desserts. I just love cinnamon. Cinnamon is so tasty, and cinnamon rolls, especially the version I'm going to make you today, which is kind of like Cinnabon, is amazing with that amazing frosting on top. It's absolutely to die for. This recipe is super easy, super quick, and I'm going to use pastry that's already made that you can buy in the shop. I'm using a gluten-free puff pastry. So let's get started. So first we want to start with making the filling. You want to use 1/4 cup of any nuts you want. You don't have to use nuts, but I like using nuts because basically this recipe is very similar to the filling recipe of baklava, and I find nuts in everything really tasty. You don't have to add nuts, but I think it makes it, oh my god, so good. And then you want to add 1/2 cup of sugar. And then we want to use 1 tablespoon and a half of cinnamon. Just mix them all together. Today is the first day of lockdown. And yeah, so second lockdown that is, of course. And it's, yeah, many mixed emotions. I was a bit shocked on Saturday when they announced it. I really didn't see it coming. I knew that some more measurements will have to be enforced, but I didn't think a proper second lockdown was going to happen. But honestly, if the government is saying we have to do it, then it must be bad. So I'm glad that we are doing it, but it doesn't make it easier, that's for sure. Hopefully in a few years' time I look at this video and think, oh my god, thank god we're done with that nightmare. Right, I'd say that will do. That looks like it's all evenly mixed together. So I would recommend to use either almonds, pecans, or walnuts. I'm using almonds, as I said. I love almonds. So the mixture of almonds, sugar and cinnamon is a bit too much for me. So as I said, I'm using pre-made rolls just because I like to make my recipes for those that can't be asked to make dough, because come on, I mean making dough is actually not that complicated, but it does take time. And you know what, a lot of us out there actually have work and have so much to do that we don't get the time to practice our dough making. So you can just buy, there's loads of gluten-free puff pastry, and also you don't have to use puff pastry. Pizza dough is really good, so you can either make pizza dough on your own, which is the easiest thing in the world, just flour, oil and water, or of course and yeast and a little bit of sugar to get it to rise. You can use already made pizza dough. Alright, so there's our lovely dough. What we need now is some butter. So you need a couple of tablespoons of melted butter. You don't need that much, you just need some to make sure that you coat it very well from the outside and the inside so it can be all lovely and crispy. So I'm just using vegan margarine, nothing fancy. Now let's just add the butter. You don't have to use melted butter, I just find melted butter easier to melt. I mean easier to spread, of course. Alright, and now we wanna spread the mixture. Alright, so you wanna spread it evenly across. Right, that looks pretty good to me. Now we just want to roll it up. So you got to be very gentle with it, very gentle. As tightly as you can. It's not very hard, to be honest. Some people have used a string, so you just do it like this. I'm gonna use a knife, so just mark where you want to cut it so they're kind of evenly cut. Alright, that looks lovely. Right, and now we wanna carefully, actually I'm gonna get a spatula. And now you want to bake it in the oven on 180 degrees for gas mark number 4 for about 7 to 10 minutes or until they're golden brown. Just keep your eye on it, and as soon as it crispens up, just take it out. Alright, now on to making the cream cheese. So we want to use vegan cream cheese. I think vegan cream cheese is one of the easiest thing to get, and even though vegan cheese have tended to disappoint me over and over, vegan cream cheese have definitely not, because yeah, they've just cracked it. So you want 115 grams of cream cheese. And now we want to mix it up. You don't need this kind of mixer. I'm just using it because I'm lazy. But yeah, you can just use your hands or like a fork or a whisk. But yeah, obviously I'm lazy. So I bought, that was too small of a bowl, really messy. So you just mix it first with a whisk or a mixer or whatever you want. And then you put 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar or icing sugar, whatever you want to call it. All right, that looks pretty good. Once you have all nice and creamy, that looks pretty good. So it's thick enough, but can easily still drizzle nicely on your cinnamon buns. And that's pretty much it. You can add some vanilla if you want, you can add some cocoa powder, you can add whatever you want. I'm gonna add a little bit of peanuts on top, not peanuts, I'm gonna add a little bit of pistachios on top at the end. But that is it, and maybe sprinkle some nuts, and yeah, that is it. And we're all done. Don't forget to drizzle it with some lovely icing at the end, and maybe some little pistachios too. And as we say in Arabic, صحتين وعافية. Don't forget to send me a picture if you do attempt to make this or any of my other recipes, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned.